Yeah, 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 yeah. Welcome to me casa, make yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab, go create your move.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to 99 miles per hour with me, your host, Percy Garner. We do have a special guest today, but before we get to our guest, I just want to, go through the announcements. So there's a couple things I got to announce. Obviously, the Get Level Pod Network that my podcast is on. There's plenty of podcasts ranging from all different categories and subjects to talk about. So you can figure out if you just go to getlevelpod.com. There's plenty of content for you to find, or the Get Level Pod Network YouTube channel. They have plenty of podcasts, but the one I want to highlight today is the Anti-Drug Coalition. I appeared on that podcast, I think my first time ever, right? Okay. Very good content there. And also, I want to talk about the scholarship fund that I am building with Dover. So I'm trying to fill a void and make sure I try to raise $1,000 by February. So we ain't got much time. And ways you can do that, and I will specify and get a link up here besides going to the merch store to purchase some merch, 99 miles per hour. So today's sponsor today is Your Pizza. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Your Pizza, but I got to remind you how good it is with the chicken subs and the wings and obviously the pizza. I mean, it's the finest pizza anywhere, basically. I mean, you argue with that? No? Okay, good. I also do want to bring up the Rainbow Connection. So obviously I just started. I accepted the position of executive director, but the telethon is coming up. So we need corporate sponsors there. $1,500 will get you on camera and a seat at a phone. And then you can do $2,500 or $5,000 if you want. The biggest donors will get the most screen time and the most recognition from Rainbow Connection. So you can go to the Rainbow Connection website. We'll have that somewhere. Just support the Tuscarawas County Rainbow Connection Society for children and adults. Now, to get to my guest. So my guest is been, I guess, in this area, Stark County and Tusk County, has done a lot for the youth. He's coached, even though he coached for a school we don't like to talk about. No. He's also doing a lot of big things that we're going to get into. But we're going to introduce the CEO of the KEG Group, Keith Green. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, obviously I love doing this. And just getting people on from the community is great. Obviously, every once in a while we have an Indians player that isn't from the county. But, we like to make sure we're going to spread our wings outside, but we like to, talk about the people local as well. So are you from T County?
I am from Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I'm born and raised. And from there, I have little stops. I stopped in California for a couple years, went to school there, played football there for a couple years, and came back to Otterbein College.
Oh, okay.
Graduated from Otterbein College, and then I started working for a while, went back to school, and obtained my master's degree in higher education administration from University of Akron.
Nice.
And just worked again and decided to step out with my own company in 2001. I started the KEG Group.
Okay.
Yeah. Left it open the whole time, but in between jobs,
Gotcha.
Trying to get on. Pretty much got full-time with the KEG Group about a couple years ago, full-time.
Nice.
So,
okay.
And then in between time, I've been coaching in and out. My last couple stops, of course, was Canton McKinley. I coached there with the Bulldogs for a while. And my last 2 years was at New Philadelphia. That's the school. Yeah. Girls varsity basketball.
Nice.
And,
they were pretty good, right?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah. We were. The last stop was 26-1, and
it's an okay record.
Yeah. So they're pretty good,
nice.
Good group of girls.
Nice.
So and now I live here in Tuscarawas County, managing the KEG Group and doing some other things as well, and just trying to stay active and involved. And slowly but surely getting involved in the community.
Yeah. It's hard to stay active nowadays.
Oh yeah, just trying to by choice. Different. I got to pick and choose. I can't just dive into everything. So I'm just trying to.
I'm more pertaining to the active is moving your body and doing everything. I haven't been active since May, but no, we do appreciate a lot of the work that's being done in the area by everybody. I don't care if you grew up in Dover, New Philly, or whatever. No matter where you come from, I don't know what would possess you to come to Dover from Columbus. But no,
well, actually, if you want to know, I mean, by marriage, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, my wife is from the area.
Okay.
And she loves the area.
Nice.
Did not want to move from the area. So I moved to the area.
Okay. Makes sense. I mean, that's exactly how I am. So luckily my wife was from the area too. So I didn't have to pull any teeth to get, and just what I mentioned, I think on the radio this morning, I was on WJER with Bill Morgan in Carmel. We talked about, just the cost of living. It's just so much better. My little brother's like, I want to move out to California. I'm like, okay, you go ahead and get you a 500 square, apartment for $1,200. So.
Yes. Yeah.
But
trust me, it's better here.
Yeah. But no, it has been a focus of mine to get involved, and I'm doing that, and I'm kind of in the process there. And there's a lot of things I want to do with the podcast and stuff, but some of it you've already done, pretty much a lot of the stuff I wanted to do. And obviously coaching, I've done private lessons, but I've never really coached a team. Mm-hmm. So that might be something I do down the road. I don't know. But just talk about, I guess we can focus, instead of getting a general thing and like, hey, Keith, what all have you done in your life? Mm-hmm. I guess we can focus in on the K group right now and just exactly what does the K group do?
Well, what the K group does, primarily grant writing for small to mid-sized 501c3 organizations, anywhere from churches to community centers, people who want to start up a 501c3 but don't know how. I started up from the very beginning to the very end, and that's pretty much a lot of paperwork from the federal to the state, or state to federal, and I do all that.
Okay, I might need your help then.
Yeah, and I do that, and of course, like I said, I do the grant writing, do the research, writing, submitting, and like I said, I've been doing that for about 20 years, a little over 20 years now.
Nice.
I started off in the college and university system. I worked at a number of colleges, universities in the state, University of Akron, Kent State, Cleveland State, and kind of got my teeth wet doing it there. So I was properly trained to do it. So nice. I pretty much know what I'm doing. And along with the KED group, I also work with professional athletes with that too, starting their 501c3s as far as their foundations are concerned. Currently, I just really started doing that recent times. So I have a couple athletes under my belt right now, and so it's going along pretty smoothly. Nice. As you know, athletes are a different breed than professional athletes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, you got to really gain their trust.
Yeah.
And the trust among their circle.
Yeah. Yeah. And, or lack thereof. If they don't have one, or, fortunately for me, I had a support system. But I didn't really have, athletes today are focused on a lot more things than I was. I was focusing on just getting to the big leagues. I didn't take advantage of social media. I didn't take advantage of having I should already have a foundation ready for when I retired. Then I'd already had this foundation built, because my dream is to have a foundation that just gives scholarships pretty much every year. Mm-hmm. And it's just a building fund that I can just hand out, hand-picked students from Dover, of course, and just help the students I want to help.
Yeah, and what I try to tell the athletes too, once we sit down and really talk, is this is your foundation. I'm just setting it up and kind of guarding it until you retire, and then you take it over.
Yeah,
and it's what you want it to be. If you have a need or a passion for people who have diabetes, or people who are homeless, or if you got bullied before when you're a kid and that's real sensitive to you, stuff like that. Yeah. So that would be your focus, and we would focus in on that. And then we would create, down the road, fundraisers, anywhere from golf outings to bowl-a-thons to chili cook-offs to whatever.
I like the chili cook-off.
Yeah. Celebrity chili cook-off. And all the proceeds go towards your foundation. So it's really perpetual, and you're just building your foundation up. So I'm just kind of guarding it for you until you take it over yourself.
Gotcha. Okay. That's what's up. I mean, I know there's a lot of, the athletes today, you saw during the bubble and all that stuff, they're having their own YouTube channels now. They're making their own content. This was the year of the podcast because I think right when we started this podcast, I think I said this number a couple times, but it was just a fraction of podcasts as compared to YouTube channels. Like, everybody's got a YouTube channel, but podcasts, there just wasn't that many. And there's something I kind of found interesting about a podcast. You're just kind of talking, having a conversation, and a lot of the people that enjoy podcasts are looking for some type of information, that they want to learn something or get some information they don't have and get some extra knowledge. But this one here, I think, has a little bit of that, but also some healthy banter between me and the guest. You're not going to be as hard on me as Scott was. He kind of comes from my neck, but I think it's just something I enjoy. I kind of use it again, because obviously I'm familiar with who you are, but I get to dive deeper and get some more information at the same time I'm making content. So I think it's really cool what podcasts can do. So is this your first podcast?
This is my first podcast. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And like you, I mean, other people, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to podcasts prior to this pandemic.
Yeah. But now everybody and their mom got a podcast.
Yeah. Listen to podcasts all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of good information. I mean, I have audiobooks now. I mean, who would have thought I was going to have audiobooks? But no, I enjoy reading, but usually it's spiritual stuff. But now I'm getting into nutrition because my nutritional knowledge is not there. Like what were we talking about before we got on air? Reese cups. That's my thing. But so obviously we spoke about the K group and what it does and how I might be reaching out about that. Also, like when you were building your skill set, you said you were well trained on a lot of stuff you do. Mm-hmm. Like, explain that. How did you? Well, I guess first of all, did you know this is something you wanted to do right from the get go, or?
No, it was introduced to me, and I didn't know if I was a decent writer or not. Going through college, I had no idea this is what. So the answer, basically, to answer your question, no, I had no idea I was getting ready to get into this. I was working with a program at Cleveland State called the LINK program, and that's a program that's basically with cooperative education for minority students. Okay. And they were lacking in funding, so they asked me to try to build it up as far as getting fundraising and getting dollars in. So I will be downtown Cleveland and a lot of the corporate or Fortune 500 buildings and talking to different organizations and companies and on behalf of the LINK program and raising money and I start raising money and raising more money and raising more money, and they start taking a note of that, going, hey, you're good at this, and I just started doing that and really got a lot of money in for the LINK program and through grant writing and writing proposals. Nice. And just took off from there. So I started doing that, and then I had a guy come up to me after I left Cleveland State, and I was the director of development for the Salvation Army. Okay. In Summit County in Akron, because I lived most of my time in Akron for about 25 years. Oh, okay. And I raised my family there, and guy came up to me one day, came in my office. He was a big donor of the Salvation Army. He said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, well, this is my office. I work here. No, not that. You need to be out working for yourself. You got the skill and set and the knack of doing it. I could see it. And I said, well, sir, I don't really know what you're talking about. I never even thought about that before. I got a job here. And he said, you need to think about this. I'll help you financially if you want to do this. You need to think about it. I'm going to come back next week and let's see what you got to say. And he came back, and I thought about it. He said, well, have you thought about it? I said, yeah, I thought about it. I said, well, what do you think? I said, well, I'm going to need, probably going to need a computer and a place to work. And he said, well, how much you think it's going to cost? This is a guy that I don't know.
I mean, that's a scary question.
And I didn't know because I didn't do a whole lot of research on it. I said, well, about $3,000 to $4,000, $5,000 maybe. He said, okay. Scratched the check out. He said, and I kind of, I was just kind of, hesitant. And he says, yeah, that's real. It's a real check. And, and I resigned.
Really?
Yeah, I resigned from the Salvation Army and went out on my own. That was 2001.
Dang.
Yeah, and I stayed out here ever since. So
well, now you can buy a computer for $3,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I of course I was naive about the dollar amount. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I figured I could work from home for a little while, but I said I definitely gonna need a laptop computer or something, something mobile.
Yeah.
So that's how I got started.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I mean, for you, obviously you had a nudge, sort of how I had a nudge for this podcast, but it's still a nudge and a check. You still got to do the work.
Yeah, you still got to do the work.
You got to learn just how to do everything, right? So, I mean, how did you approach that? Did you? YouTube wasn't around. That's.
I pretty much educated, as far as formal education is concerned. I had that.
Yeah, and you could learn to raise money and do stuff like that.
And it was a lot of self-education. I mean, a lot of reading and a lot of educating myself, a lot of asking questions, a lot of talking to different people who are doing what I'm doing now. And so,
did you do a lot of networking and stuff?
Oh gosh, I was at every networking party there was in Akron. I was at everything. Nice. And, just meeting people all the time. And the power of networking is real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, and I also believe in 6 degrees of separation.
Wait, what is that?
That's, if I don't know someone, someone else knows that person, knows that person. Okay. And so can you introduce me to,
sure.
and that opens the door. I mean, because, a good example would be athletes. It's no way, and this, there's no way I could just walk up to LeBron. Well, I know LeBron, but another athlete, a pro athlete, and then say, "Hey, my name's Keith Green. How you doing?"
Yes.
They're gonna rear back and go, "Well, what do you want? What are you doing?" No, you can't have anything in my mind. So those are the first things that are in their mind.
Yeah.
You got to. In most cases, you have to be introduced to those guys.
Yeah.
Through a reliable source.
Yep.
And once it's a reliable source that they know, we mutually know.
Yeah.
Then you're in, and then now you can talk and do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Just like the Facebook friends.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So.
That's a good.
A lot of self-education and that's the beauty of working as an entrepreneur. I'm educating myself daily on stuff, and every time I write a different proposal for someone else, if I don't know the ins and outs of all of it, I educate myself. I research it, and I find out what it is before I can write about it. So, which is fun for me, I'm doing some classes now on weekends, the next couple weekends out of Columbus via Zoom, teaching like 501, how to open a 501c3, how to profit versus nonprofit. So I've been doing a podcast, not a podcast, but a class on those issues the last couple of weeks. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. You self-educate yourself. You got to keep. It's always a grind, and it's always motivating. Yeah. I mean, it's usually not too many dull moments. I mean, because as long as you keep moving and motivating yourself, and my whole thing is always to be productive daily. That's my whole thing every day. Just get a little bit closer. Yeah. A little bit more. It don't have to be big. Just going forward. As long as I'm not moving backwards, I'm good.
Yeah, that's important to know. Just because a lot of people want that. I don't want to say get rich quick, but they want to see immediate. That's just how we are now. Everything's fast, so we just want I want me results. Oh, I did a diet for 3 days. Like, why haven't I lost any weight? Well, at least that's how I think. But and like you said, outside there's other stuff you've done outside the K group too, right? So. Yeah. I guess go deeper into that because I know you said you got another business card. I was trying to see what that was.
Oh, that is, actually, with a partner of mine, Sherry Jo Watkins, she's out of Steubenville, Ohio. And what we do is we sell and make mobile apps for your phone.
Oh, okay.
For small to mid-sized businesses. Because, all the big boys have the apps.
Yeah.
The Menards, the Walmarts, Lowe's, and they all have apps. But the small guy doesn't have an app. But that's the way it's going now. Everybody has an app. It's an app for everything. That's the motto.
There's an app for that.
Yeah, it's an app for that. And so what we do is I go out and I solicit different companies about having an app. And Sherry Jo, my partner, she builds them.
Wow.
And she's probably the best I know.
Really? Yeah. Believe it or not, that was kind of one of my interests. And I'm still finishing up college right now, and I thought I was going to get into software development. But it's rough for someone like me. I can sit still for a little bit, but and I love computers, but I think I I strayed more towards the hardware than the software. And building apps there's a lot of problem solving, and not that I can't solve problems, but you got to be creative and figuring out different ways to solve this problem while your app isn't working, while, you know, the whole debugging system. And I don't want to get too nerdy talk, but I was just like, quickly, I was just like, all right, maybe I don't want to do this.
Well, you know, it's a lot I don't know all the ins and outs to it. That's why I do the sales part, and Sherry Jo does the building, but she's very good. And this is that part of the business right now is pretty good. I mean, we're getting some looks in Dover and Tuscarawas County and beyond. So it's coming along. And people just got to get committed to it, because, of course, you're going to always run into people who are old school, so to speak, and they don't want to. I've been running into people of late who don't even use a computer. Even today, 2020, they don't even use computers. You know.
I got a funny stat for you. Can you guess? I might even done this on the channel before. I repeat a lot of stuff. I don't care. Can you guess what year the first company said they want to go paperless?
Wow.
I'll give you a hint. It's a 19 in the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah, it was 1975.
Really?
Yes. Because I thought it was funny with my former job at Comdoc, you know, we're going paperless. And we have solutions for that as well, but I'm like, really? Like, I literally was in Cuyahoga Falls and made a cold call to this business, and they're like, we're paperless. We don't have any copiers. And then I hear like the sound in the background of like a copier, like finishing a copy. And I'm like, he just looked at me, and I was like, all right, man, I'll let you go. You just caught yourself in a lie, but I'm not one of those guys. But, you know, and as you could tell, you know, cold calling is hilarious.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's, I guess, in my line of work, I try to stay away from sometimes, but it's a must do most cases. Yeah. I mean, you got to start from somewhere.
Yeah, true.
You know, I mean, so sometimes in most cases, especially with the apps, I literally just got to walk in.
Yeah.
And I ask for the person in charge and give them a quick 15-second spiel and
see if it sticks.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And it's a lot of doors slammed in your face. I mean, it's you know, that's the process of being an entrepreneur and being a salesman.
Yeah, yeah. And I know a little bit about the salesman. I wasn't, you know, perfect. I was, but I learned a lot, and there was a lot of fear I had to get over. But outside the kid group and this app business you got going on, is there anything else? Because I feel like there's something else.
Well, with the athletes, like I was saying before, that's something I'm really trying to focus on. I have a goal. I mean, I have an NBA, I have an NFL guy, and I have a MMA guy, and my goal is to get the MMA guy.
Yeah.
Lucas Mass.
Oh, okay.
Lucas Mass, and my NFL guy is Roger Prince. He plays for the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, okay.
And I would love to get an NBA guy and a Major League Baseball guy. I only need two more. That's why, because as you know, again, you just can't have a whole stable full of those guys, because you can't service them the way you want, and I want to personally service them. So I just want those four.
They're not a number on a sheet, you know, by name.
I just want those four. So I'm kind of really stretching out and trying to get an NBA guy. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know where it's going to. So if you're listening, I'm really eager to do that. And Major League Baseball. I always wanted a baseball guy. Baseball guys are hard.
Yeah.
Baseball guys are tough.
Yeah, baseball is tough.
Yeah. But they got the longevity.
Yeah. Unless you get hit in the head with a fastball or something like that.
Yeah.
None of that happened to me, but I'm just saying. But I mean, is there anything like going on like currently that, you know, we need to know about? Is there any events or anything you're doing, or any, you know, you told me about the class you got going on with the 501c3 and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a class through a company called Pyramid Development out of Columbus.
Okay.
And it's organized in my old neighborhood. That's why I decided to. I always want to get back to my neighborhood, so I found out what they were doing, and so I decided to help them out in doing that. So I'm doing that on the weekends. That ends in the next couple of weeks, though. But I'm sure I'll find something else to do down there. I'm trying to think. That's pretty much it. I mean, that keeps me It keeps me,
I was gonna say.
yeah.
I was wondering. I was like, dang, you got another thing. How do you balance all this?
That keeps me going. I mean, that keeps me going, especially everything. If it ever hits, and it never does, if it ever hits at once, it kind of, it's a roller coaster ride for all of them, you know, and especially with the grant writing, because that's a specialty, and that takes a while. And usually, if you never see me, then that's usually means I'm closed in and I'm focusing on a proposal. So
Gotcha.
I usually don't go out when I'm doing something like that. But right now, that's all I'm doing. I don't think I have time for too much anything else. I don't think my wife will let me do anything else.
Speaking of the family, how many kids you got?
I have 3 kids.
Okay,
or 3 adult kids.
I was going to say, how old are they and what are they doing?
Well, let's start at the top. Maurice is 20. Actually, it's a small little story here. Actually, I originally started with 4. I have one son who passed away some years ago.
Oh, man, and sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so his birthday is in November. So every November, all 3 of the 4 are the same age. Because I adopted my boys, and my girls are biological.
Oh, okay.
And so here we go. We got Maurice is 27.
Okay.
And he lives in Akron. He's working and taking care of my 2 grandkids.
Nice.
And I got Kayla, who's 27. Yeah, November, 27, December, because her birthday's in January. So she's 27 right now.
Okay.
She's working on her music in Atlanta. She's a professional singer down there.
Oh, wow.
And her and her significant other boyfriend works. He has a tattoo parlor situation down there.
You got any tattoos?
No, not one.
You answered that fast. No.
And my youngest, Dana, who's 24, and she's working on a PhD at Morgan State University in Baltimore.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
But Morgan State hadn't opened yet due to COVID,
Ooh.
so she's doing a lot of stuff at home in Akron.
Did she get a refund?
She's got a scholarship, but they just let her do her work at home.
Oh, okay.
And so
Okay.
she's supposed to be moving down to Baltimore next month in January.
Nice.
So.
Is there, obviously you've become, like entrepreneur, you handle your own business. If one of your kids was like, you know what, Dad, I want to go into business for myself, and I don't want to, work for the man. What would like the one piece of advice you're just like, you know what, if my kids could just inherit this and live by this, like, what would you tell them?
I would encourage them to go ahead and do it. I mean, but make sure you got your ducks in a row, at least as far as you can get them in a row at the very beginning, because a lot of times I know with me starting off, it was shooting from the hip and, just trying to digging out. And, you didn't know when the next, that's the whole thing about being an entrepreneur. You don't know, it's not a steady every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
Or every month. I mean, sometimes when it hits, it hits.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't, it doesn't. So, so if that's a bad part about it, but that's a exciting part in a sense, because it motivates you.
Yeah.
You got to keep it moving. That's what I'm saying. There's no dull moments. I mean, you got to keep it going. You got to be self-motivated. You got to get yourself up in the morning. No one gets you up.
Yeah.
So you got to make your own little rules. One of my rules is sitting at my desk by 8.
Okay.
I mean, dressed.
Yeah.
I mean, I might not even have an appointment today, but I'm gonna have my clothes on, ready to walk out the door if need be.
Nice.
And it's been times I get a call and I had to go out and things like that. So, you gotta, if that motivates you to be dressed, see, I like doing that. I can't just sit in my sweats and a t-shirt and and just start working. I could do that, but I don't prefer to do it. I'd rather get up and get dressed like I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
It's kind of a motivating factor.
For sure.
So I would tell them, if that's what they want to do. Now, of course, I know my kids and I know their personalities, and one of them could do it. Yeah. I know it. The other two, I don't know. Some people are designed to work for people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's all right.
That is
perfectly
totally fine, because sometimes you need someone to say, hey, you got to be here at 8, you take your break at 10, you got lunch at 12, and you get off at 4. Can you do that? Sure. All right. I'm set. Yeah. Me, I'm like, maybe I might, and it's been many times. That's why I love working for myself. It's been many times at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I get a epiphany.
Boom.
And I'm jumping on the computer, and my wife's going, "Where you going?" I say, "Oh, I got to go do this right now because I'm gonna lose it." And she's going to bed, and I'm on the computer. And that sometimes that happens. That happens on a Sunday. That happens on a Saturday. That happens at night. I mean, but I have the ability to do that.
Yeah, true. And I know there's a lot of people that just can't. I'm just thinking of people right now that just can't go, sit at a desk 9 to 5. They just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, with ComDoc and now at Rainbow, I'm going to have a lot of social time, and I'm going to have a lot. Obviously, I'm going to have to go to my office and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be time where I'm meeting people. I got to be out talking to people, and that's what I love to do. So,
and hopefully, they give you the flexibility to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yes, that is a big part of the executive director position at Rainbow. Mm-hmm. Is you got to be out and be in front of faces. You got to be every ribbon cutting. You got to. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to be like, oh, I got to go see this place open. No, I'm going to be like.
Shaking hands and kissing babies.
Exactly. But I appreciate having you on the show, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. How did you hear about the show?
Where was I? I was in Missions Cafe, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the spot right there.
Yeah, Missions Cafe with Renee.
Yeah.
Renee getting you a shout out.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to come on the show, but she's scared. So, but no, that's good. That's good. And for anybody else out there that hasn't, left us a 5-star rating with a comment on Apple Podcasts or the YouTube channel, we'd appreciate if you could do that. We really want you to subscribe. It's free on YouTube. All you do is click the big red button, and that'll help us out. We'd love to one day reach 1,000 subscribers. But like I said before, if you are interested in Rainbow Connection sponsorships, you can give me a call, or you can call Rainbow Connection. We'll have the number, website, everywhere, somewhere. Right, Josh? Okay, cool. It's a little delayed to him, so when he sees it, he's like, oh, yeah. But no, I appreciate having you on the show. I appreciate all the listeners and viewers out there. And, we're going to keep kicking these episodes out. And, one day we'll have some more content, some micro content fixed in there. So you can find us on YouTube or Facebook or on the Get Level Pod Network on YouTube, Facebook, or the website. Yeah, that's it, right? I didn't miss anything. Okay. Well, you guys have a good night, and get better. This will be live Tuesday. Hey.
It feels like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. I got a crib by the water. Say me casa su casa. It feels like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little mama. She be on that Henny. I like that Corona.